Hello, hi guys, my name is Tendra Oloda. Those who know me call me Stash. And today is episode 4. Boo 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 boy! Hey, welcome to my channel. Yeah, we're doing this, guys, we're doing this. So today's episode or topic is about debt review. Yes. It's about debt review, how I put myself under debt review without knowing. Yes, smart people do make dumb decisions sometimes, especially when you make emotional financial decisions, because I believe I made an emotional financial decision that costed me a lot, and based on the story I'm going to tell you, you will comment below and tell me whether did I really make an emotional financial decision, or was it a smart move? Okay, so here is how I put myself under debt review without doing any research about what debt review is, without consulting anyone. Oh my God, when you're going to make dumb decisions in life, you always keep them to yourself. You always think you're making the smartest decision and you do not share it with anyone. I never shared this with my partner before I made it. I never shared it with my sister. I never shared it with my friends. I didn't even ask anyone if they know about what debt review is and what happens if you put yourself under. No. And I thought I was making a smart decision, and guess what? It costed me, hey? It costed me a lot. So this is what happened. So after my articles, I was jumping from one job to another, from one job to another, those small contracts, 3 months, 6 months type of jobs. And that stressed me a lot. It stressed me a lot because sometimes I would have like a month of not working, which put me under a financial stress. And that financial stress made me make that decision. So, sometimes, how the devil works, because I feel like it was the devil. I only had one debt, and one debt only. Like, I didn't have any clothing account, I didn't have nothing. I only had one debt, I only had a car debt. So during my difficult times, my sister would chip in, my partner's family would chip in and try to help me out on paying the car for my installments and all that stuff. But somehow, I felt like, I can't be depending on people all the time. I need to find a way to make sure that I pay off this car and move on with my life. And it was just stressing me so much. It was stressing me. And during that time, I had moved from Joburg to Durban, and I was staying alone. My partner was staying in another city, and I was just stressed. I was stressed, and I was so worried, thinking that maybe I'll be blacklisted at some point. I was stressed, not knowing that me putting myself under debt review, I was blacklisting myself. Remember, I didn't do any research. Okay, so I put myself under debt review because they were telling me, I used to go on Instagram, and then I would see this advertisement whereby they say, I had a debt of 80,000 rand, now it's only 1,000 rand, or I had a debt of 100 and something thousand rand, and now within how many months it's 2,000 rand. Those I'm sure you see them. I still see them, and demand trauma whenever I see those adverts, because they sold me dreams, hey? So when I made that call, I asked them to call me back, and I was like, this is the best decision you can make for your life. Little did I know, they didn't tell me that if you put yourself under this, you are doomed. You are blacklisting yourself. I thought Because one, these were the advantages that sounded so good to be true, but they are true. Those were the advantages of putting myself under debt review, was that if the interest goes up, I will not be affected. But also another disadvantage is that if the interest goes down, I will also not benefit, So I was like, I don't care about benefiting. I just want to pay off this car and get over it. So what debt review does is that it goes to your creditors and negotiate with them a lower interest rate and tell them that, no, my client cannot afford to pay this interest, so can you please lower this interest to this fixed interest rate. So it's no longer a variable interest rate, it's a fixed one. So if they negotiated to lower it maybe to 12%, that's it, you'll be paying 12% up until your debt is paid off, which means that your installment is also going to decrease. So that sold me. That is the part that hooked me up. It was the fact that they managed to decrease my installment for the car. It was around, during that time, I think it was around 3.8, and I was only going to pay 2.5. Like, imagine. So I took that decision. I was like, to pay 2.5, count me in, I'm in. And then they told me that you won't be able to take any debt going forward, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really be moved or be worried. I was not worried about that because I knew that I'm not really big into debts. I don't take clothes on debts. I don't take a lot of things. I don't even have a credit card for that matter. So I was like, no, I don't care. I don't mind. So they said, up until you pay this debt, you won't be able to get into any other debt. I was like, okay, sharp. Even during that time when they are saying that, it still doesn't click on an accountant, a whole accountant, that, girl, you are blacklisting yourself. You're setting yourself up, And then I thought, I got this. I didn't tell anyone. Like, literally, I didn't tell anyone up until this other time where I wanted to move. This is how I found out that I was doomed. I wanted to move. I was moving from my uncle's place, and I was looking for my own space. And then I couldn't get most of the apartments because I was being rejected. They said, no, you are under debt review, we cannot take you. I'm like, what? And even in my mind, it did not register that even taking up a rental contract or signing a rental, that is a debt. So you cannot even rent for yourself. You can't do anything. Oh, that is where the frustration started. Hey, that's when I started being so frustrated. Oh, I was so frustrated. But luckily, I had a partner who's now my husband. We took the contract for lease under his name. But at the same time, they still wanted both of our pay slips, but we had to pay an extra amount of money as a deposit so that it becomes a safety net, But I was so heartbroken. I could not believe it. I was like, girl, what did you put yourself under? Even on jobs, guys, when I'm applying for jobs, I couldn't get some of the jobs because I was under debt review. Remember, I'm an accountant, so I'll be looking after people's monies. So it means that I'm a risk. I'm a threat into their finance. I'm a threat into their business. They will think that I'm there to steal their money so that I can pay off my debts. That time is only one debt. Like, I wish I could explain on people, like, guys, I didn't know when I put myself under this thing. I had no clue. I had no idea. I didn't do my research, which is so incompetent of an accountant of me. Yes, I judge myself a lot over that decision because, oh my God, I still cannot believe it even today that I made that. Like, debt review is for people who are in so much debt that they do not see the way out, and people who cannot stop taking debts. It's for helping those people that they can't stop taking debts. Like they take a debt after a debt and a debt after another, you know. So it's for those people so that they do not take up any debts up until they pay up their debts. But no, Thenjiwe made that emotional financial decision and put herself under debt review, and then now her life was just stuck. For a while, each and every cent I had, when I overtime money, when I bonus, whatever money I had, any extra money, and I was working so hard also, trying to make some side hustles, selling handbags, selling this, selling whatever I see that can be sold. Like, I was working 10 times more to make sure that I pay off that debt. Listen, I made another dumb decision on top of this decision. So here I am, desperate, wanting to put myself out of debt review. Guess what did I do? Again, there was a company that was saying, no, we can take you out of debt review, you need to pay us 6.5. And I paid that 6.5. The 6.5 that I should have just used towards paying off my debt, no, I gave it to those people so that they can take me out of debt review. After I paid that 6.5, guess what they said? They said, no, we can't take you out of debt review up until you have paid up your debt. And then when you have paid up your debt, like they're telling me something that I already know. When you have paid up your debt, then we'll give you a debt clearance. Oh my God, I wanted to die. I was like, oh wait, I'm like, guys, give me back my 6.5. It was too late. They didn't want to give me. They were like, nope, girl, it doesn't work like that. Like, I already knew that if I pay off my debt, I'll be off debt review, and the debt review company that put me under debt review will give me a debt clearance. So you guys promised that you get me out quicker out of debt review without me having to pay off my debt. Now you guys are changing your story, saying that I need to pay off the debt. Like, what do you mean? I even called them a million times. I'm like, the person I talked to at the beginning said that, no, you will not wait for the debt to be paid off. We will take you out. Now you guys are changing your tune, saying we cannot take you out up until your debt is paid. What do you guys mean? What is this? But anyway, my money was gone. I had to focus on paying more, on my debt. And I just focused on doing that. I was, each and every cent I had, I was just paying off that debt, making sure that I pay off my car. And within 2 years, I paid off that car. I think it was a year and a half, actually, not even 2 years. Within a year and a half, I paid off that car. I was taken out of debt review, and my life started to be clear, you know. Like, as you can see, we managed to buy a house, because I was off the hook now. But that was one of the most emotional financial decisions I've ever made, which I'll never advise anyone to go under debt review, because it will, especially if you're on finance, it will ruin your career. Like, up until you are out of it, it will ruin your career, and it will stall your career, man. You will not be able to be hired, especially in private companies. Public, they don't care much about those things. They only check criminal record and stuff. But when it comes to your credit record, they don't care on public. But on private, they care. Oh, they care, honey. They check your credit record. So that was, but anyway, thank you so much for this, for watching my channel, and thank you for your support. Please continue supporting me by subscribing and liking my videos, commenting below, share my videos so that other people can learn from what I am sharing, because this is also to help other people. This channel is for helping other people, especially when it comes to financial decisions, financial mistakes that we have made. So before you go into debt review, you need to be aware of the things that I just mentioned. I'm not saying do not get into it, but at least you will get into it knowing what you are doing. Unlike me, who went blank, desperate, and didn't have any information, didn't do any research. For anything, actually, just do your research. Inform people around you, people who care about you, and people who have better knowledge. When it comes to financial decisions, I always ask my sister, but that time I did not. And that's how I saw that actually ndiyabayiza. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a productive week. Enjoy and manage your finances. Okay, manage your finances so that you do not put yourself under debt review. All right, bye. Love y'all.